Hey guys, and welcome back to Regret Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, we could soon have blackouts, shortages of electric, so they might have to have rolling blackouts in what's said to be the fifth largest economy in the world. I mean, do you feel like you're living in the fifth largest economy in the world? These people have destroyed this country. You know, I mean, they've literally taken us back to the 1970s, because apparently we had blackouts in the 1970s, right? I remember that. I was far too young. In fact, I was in the pram when that shit happened. So my whole life has been one of some modern shit. Yeah, we had like paraffin heaters, all right? But I don't remember, the whole candlelight nonsense and all that. I can remember my brothers and sisters talking about it, but I can't remember none of it. Right? So my whole life has been one of, of always just walking into a room and turning on the light, right? And that's been that. And now we've got to come to a stage, right, in Great Britain in 2022 that we could have rolling blackouts. I mean, how do you people feel about your racist vote now? Because this is what's put us here. You people voting against your own interest. Voting for the Tories. The Tories here, who have never, ever, ever, not once had your interest. Why would they have your interest? They hate you. They hate people who are working class. They hate the poor. Why would you think that they have your interest? Right now they've put us in a stage, where we might have no electric. But you know who will have electric? They'll have electric because most of them will have things like solar panels and all that. So a lot of them will, might even have some electric stored. So a lot of them won't have to worry. I'm sure Downing Street will be perfectly fine. Right, it will be lit up like a Christmas tree while we're going through 3-hour rolling blackouts. But you say, how the hell, right, has it come to this? Right, because original racist material. That's right. I don't understand, right? I don't understand the people of this country, right? There's a reason why we're facing this bullshit. Because they sold off all the gas storage. The last one they sold off was what, in 2017, I think. I think but from memory, I think it was called Rough. I think it was called something like that. I think so, right? And I think it was under the North Sea. But sold them all off. Sold off all the gas storage. I mean, why would you do that? Why would you even vote for people who are behaving like that? People who have sold off all of our utilities. Why would you vote for those people? You're swimming in fucking raw sewage, man. Come on, be serious. Right? Why would you vote for those people? I'll tell you why. Because they've always said the things that you want to hear, right, about immigration. My parents had to put up, we'll give you £500 to go back to where you come from. Right up to the modern day where you got black and brown Tories, dreaming with passion, wanting to send people who look like them to Rwanda. And they'll say to you, "Oh, Ukrainians, you can bring up as many as you can." It's not us, right, that went and bombed Ukraine. But I can guarantee you that those people who are coming over on those little boats, right, I guarantee you all of those countries where they're coming from, somehow we are responsible, right, for leaving, tyrannical regimes. Right, leaving them in countries, where you've got bombings every fucking couple of minutes. Right? That's the type of shit we do. Right, people from Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, all these countries, right? Iran's got fucking sanctions. They've had sanctions. You can't even get a fucking aspirin out there because of us. Right. So of course all these people want to leave all these places, and then you've got fucking famine. Right, you got all these places, you got all these people coming from, a lot of these African countries, right? And they say, well, why shouldn't they come here? Who controls all the fucking gold and diamond mines, and all the copper mines and all these things in Africa? Who do you think controls all these things? It's not the Africans, motherfuckers from Europe and from here. Right, so this is why all of these people say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to Britain. Right, I'm going to Europe. That's where I'm going. Right, because you know what? That's where the fucking streets are all paved with gold. Not here. It's everywhere else in Europe. Over here, our streets are paved with shit. And racism, bigotry, and xenophobia. That's what our streets are paved with over here. Right? So this is why, right, we've come to this stage in this country. Right? And I really hope, because I tell you this, right? This, what's happening in this country to these people now, right? It pleases nobody more than me, because I've had a lifetime, right, of racism from these people, right? These people, right, disgusted me, right, when you followed Nigel Farage. This country followed Nigel Farage, ex-National Front, right? And now this country right now, what's going on in this country right now? This is Nigel Farage's vision, okay? So remember when you got your rolling blackouts and you can't pay for your fucking groceries, right? And you're paying £2 for a litre of fucking petrol, right? And the NHS is in crisis, right? If you got if you had a little business, right, and it's had to fucking close down, look no further than the person that you people was following. And let me tell you, I will never ever forgive the people of this country for following Nigel Farage. And welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me, and a special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go for all your messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. I saw a story the other day, yeah, about I think it was a Swedish politician that one of the I think it must have been one of the UN meetings or something like that, and she cut off her ponytail, right, in support of the women of Iran, for what happened in Tehran. She cut off her hair in support. I thought, whoa, she chose a really big stage to do it as well. You obviously know who Governor Ron DeSantis is. Yeah, he's like. Because I'm sure he is either Mexican. I'm sure he's a South American. I'm sure. With a name like Ron DeSantis probably is, but you see, he's one of them people who would hate on Spanish Americans and all those type of things, because purposely they look like him. So as far as he's concerned, if he can do that, right, then he'll be pleasing the far right, just like that guy from, just like another guy from the Proud Boys, right? I'm sure his ass is in prison right now, and one of the Proud Boys has just pled guilty to sedition. That's serious. But anyway, Governor Ron DeSantis, right, was seen in a pair of white Wellington boots. Right, look, the man was there looking like obviously like Princess. Hold on, who's the princess in the white boots? I'm sure there's a princess in the white boots, right? But if you know Ron DeSantis, yeah, Ron DeSantis is he, right, shouldn't be parading around in a pair of boots that make him look fabulous. Okay, that's right. So you need to really see and obviously he looked very out of shape in them too, right? But if you see the pictures of him in these boots, seriously, right, is the media over there have been having a right giggle at Ron DeSantis, right? And well, you know that he's one of them people. He's very thin-skinned, like Donald Trump. Right. So the minute someone says anything about him, and he always likes to say derogative things about people. The minute someone says something about him, right, it's like the whole world, right, is against him. Right. So obviously he's taking it really, really badly. And then unfortunately for Governor DeSantis, right, obviously we've just had the massive hurricanes in Florida, right, and so much of Florida has been smashed to pieces. right? And now Governor Desantis all of a sudden is busing in migrants to help with the cleanup and the rebuild. You know when so you know what I always just say to you, is this not poetic justice? Because a lot of those people who you sent away to Martha's Vineyard, a couple of weeks ago, a lot of them probably were builders too. But this is like it's sort of like a poetic justice. Now he has to go begging, right, to undocumented migrants to say, please come and help us. And what's going to happen? They're all going to go and they're going to help, because you know why? Because they've come there to work. That's what they've come to do. They've come there to work, to get to try and get a new life, right? And that's what the right wing. I don't know why the right wing can't just like live and let live. Oh no, they've got to fight against it. But now they need these people. Same in Australia. Australia right now need only but young people. Right? Remember all the Vietnamese belt people that these bitches fucking racist asses turned away? And now they need people. Right? Same as Ron DeSantis. And then you had President Biden. Right? Obviously he went to Florida and was speaking to Ron DeSantis. Right? Giving a speech. Right? And President Biden really just set him up. Because President Biden's turned around and he's gone like, and I'm just so happy, right, that Governor DeSantis believes in climate change. Right? Ron DeSantis was there. Because he's one of the people who's big against climate change, right? But I'm sure that maybe now he's against climate change and global warming. But I'm sure now, right, he could well have changed his mind, right? Because after this latest hurricane, which was much more powerful than the last massive hurricane they had, right? This one was much more powerful, right? And now obviously he's going begging, Because remember about DeSantis, yeah? He's constantly saying derogative things about Biden. And you know that if this was Donald Trump, right, and that was a Democrat who was saying derogative things about him, Donald Trump would have purposely not gone and given those people any money. He'd have made sure. But the difference is the people from the left. That's why we always have this air, right, of being above the people of the right. Because we are. But Joe Biden has just gone straight there. He's not bothered about all this nonsense that what you've come across with from before. He's not bothered with that. Do you know what I mean? He's just come to help the people. Right? You can keep up with your fucking foolishness. Right? You can keep up with your fucking culture wars and all this fucking bollocks. Right? But Joe Biden's because if Joe Biden just said no, I'm not. Fuck him. I'm not helping him. Let Florida help itself. Right? You're not getting no help from the federal government. As what the right wing would do to the people of the left. That's what they would do. Guaranteed. Right? Because you know why? Because there's some evil, nasty, right? Their politics are filthy. It's not even for them. It's not even about politics. You look at all right wing politicians across the world and see if anything's about politics. Nothing's about politics with them. Everything is about a fight, right? A fight with the with the woke lot, right? And woke only means what. I'm just prepared to be nice to you. That's all woke means. It's just like it's just like it's just being courteous and it's just being courteous and treating people and treating everybody equal. That's all woke is. Do you know what I mean? But these people, right? That's what they're fighting against all the time. That's just all the right wing everywhere in the world. That's what they're fighting against. Over here in America, Australia, all these places, they're fighting. Oh, everyone's so woke. Yeah. It's a joke. President Biden has pardoned all prior cannabis offences, right, for fulfilling a promise that he made when he was campaigning, which is good, really good, because I think it's about it's about 6,000 people, I think, or something like that. It might be a bit more, I'm not sure. But if you've just been caught with a small amount of cannabis, or for personal use or whatever, right? So he's taken away, he's just pardoned everybody. Pardon. But he should pardon. For me, as far as I'm concerned, he should be pardoning all the dealers too. I don't know if you've seen this mass shooting that we had in Taiwan yesterday. It was just like absolutely shocking. It's like 37 people dead. I'm sure like at least 24 of them children. The youngest one like 2 years old. And this guy was a police officer, ex-police officer, who was on trial for drug offences. He's only like something like 32 or 34 years old. So he's only a youngster. Do you know what I mean? And then after he's murdered all those people, he went to his house and killed his baby and his wife as well. Do you know what I mean? So obviously this motherfucker had some real psychological problems, But obviously if you're a police officer and you're up on such a serious offence, maybe they should have your ass on remand. Scotland have brought in temporary rent controls, which I think is a good thing, because I think they should bring in a rent cap right all over this country, right, and that would be a way, right, of dealing with a lot of the housing market, because right now you've got a lot of people who are in the housing market, and they're making money out of people's misery, and they're using poor and working class people to buy houses for them, because they know that those people can't get mortgages. Right, but yet for all right, all these people right paying all this rent, but they can't get a mortgage, right? But they can pay, they can pay 800, 900, £1,000, 1,200, 1,500 right, a month to live in some of these houses. What they can't get a mortgage for, but they can rent the house to buy it for somebody else. The whole system in this country, the whole system is set up so it's just fucked up, right? And it's everything in this country is against the poor and the working class. Everything is against us. Everything, no matter what it is, it's against us. However you look at it. Doreen Lawrence, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and various others, right, have had to take out a case against the Daily Mail, because the Daily Mail have been bugging their cars and all that type of shit. These people, you see people like the Daily Mail, right, they're real scum. These people just get up to some real bullshit, and it's all the time. They've been doing these things for so long, because how do you think they get information, right? But that's what they've been doing. They've been bugging these people's cars, because they've managed to find out a lot of information on people, on like health wise and all these type of things, and you have to wonder how they can find out all that type of information. And are you part of the anti-growth coalition? Because, well, if you oppose what Liz Truss has done, which is, coming in, crashing the pound, right, crashing the mortgage market, right, and, I'm sure there's a few more things, right, but if you're opposed to that, right, then you are part of the anti-growth coalition, right. You might as well have a townhouse in North London, right, and go down to the BBC on a daily basis to give statements, right. This woman, seriously, she is looking for a fight with everybody, right? The woman, she just the Scots, Extinction Rebellion, the two women that disturbed the thing, bloggers, vloggers. This woman went for everybody, right? Everybody that hasn't got her vision, the vision that crashed the pound, right, and has put people's mortgages sky high. In the next year, right, we've got 1.7 million homes, right, that are going to be out of their terms, right. So they're going to be out of their fixed period, right, and each of those people, on average, and when they say on average, right, they mean on average, right, is going to have an extra £500, right, and when they say on average, that probably relates to maybe 425 at your lowest, right, and then maybe 700, right, at the top end, right, when they say average 500, right, so that is what Liz Truss's policies, right? And then she's got the cheek to turn round, right, and basically call people the doomsters and the gloomsters, like how Boris Johnson did, right? But she's come with a different one, the anti-growth coalition. Well, say, are you part of the anti-growth coalition? No. Yes, I am. Because you know what? You crashed our pound and you fucked up the mortgage market. Right? You know, people have lost their mortgages already. Right? People who are taking out mortgages because where they've had to recalculate now, they're just like, can't afford that now because it's an extra £800 a month on top of what I was going to pay already. And then this woman's talking about the anti-growth coalition. These people is really rude. A nurse has been fired after appearing on the Jeremy Vine show and saying that if you voted for the Tories, you shouldn't be revived in the NHS. It's a terrible thing for her to say. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's understandable. Do you know what I mean? Because it's understandable because this is what these governments have done to the NHS workers. But they've destroyed, you know, the NHS. I mean, the NHS is losing, you know, it's losing hundreds of workers on a daily basis. Well, it was already in need of thousands of members of staff. Right. So now, right, what you're going to see very soon, because you're going to have no choice. You're going to have to see an influx, of nurses. They're going to have to go abroad and get a lot of nurses because they need it. But then you see already, you know, we're in a hostile environment. The pound ain't worth shit, right? You know, and really, you've got so much people leaving the NHS. You know, so people are going to, you know, a lot of these people are going to know that. But then, you know, when they're talking about, you know, from places like Bangladesh, or you know, poor, you know, if you can get poorer people from like India and Pakistan and those places, right? Sri Lanka. The Philippines and all. Well, who the hell wouldn't want to get away from the Philippines, right? But all these places, right? So that's where they're going to be searching for nurses soon. So that's even more brown people to upset all you racist fools. Yeah, that's where we're going. I don't know if you saw the stabbings in yesterday in Bishopsgate yesterday morning. Apparently, this was some type of robbery. These youths then tried to go and rob up a man or something like that. So a middle-aged man apparently with must have had a fancy mobile phone. I said, well, how are you gonna do that? You know that it's locked, right? So I mean, it's not even like you can get like good. I mean, these things are just like will just be like a couple of £100, if that. And you just find someone who I don't know, you know, because a lot of these phones are locked, and how are you going to get? I don't know how you get because you're not going to get past that. There's no one who can get past the locks, right? So you know, it must be just parts or whatever these people must be breaking this shit down for. That's you know, that's all I can think. Unless the phone is open, the phone is open, and you know, but most people's phone has a lock on it. So I don't even see. And then apparently one of these guys had a balaclava and all that, and there was 4 of them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if they've been caught, to be honest, but you know, you think to yourself, in Bishopsgate, right? Every fucking inch of that place, yeah, is that's why you wear a balaclava if you're going to do something in Bishopsgate, right? Because every inch of that place, yeah, is under CCTV, right? And I mean, you're dealing with the city police, and believe me, right? If you want to find overzealous police officers, just interact with the city police. Because you know they're probably as overzealous as like your parks police, right, and your railway police, right? Because a lot of them are really toy police officers, right? So they're very overzealous. Right? So the city police are very much like that. So you know, I can't imagine people going up there and committing crimes. I don't know why you go there and commit crimes. We're going to speak about some Brexit. The UK has ended its standoff with the EU as hopes rise for the Northern Ireland Brexit deal. See, the EU, you see the UK. What's happened is the UK's backed down, right? Because what's happened is somebody just said, "Shut up," and the UK has just had to back down, and I wonder who that could be. US urge no more flare-ups from the UK over the Northern Ireland Protocol. See, right there. In fact, the Americans have said, shut up, right? They say it's 1776, right? This is 2022, and now we have the upper hand. And you shut up and make that deal happen. And that's how Britain's just had to quiet its arse and keep its mouth closed. Liz Truss is pleading with EU leaders to keep the UK lights on over the winter. Because you know why? Because the EU, whatever storage we've got, the EU hold it. They hold our storage. Well, it's held in the EU. Not that actually the EU just hold it. Our storage is held in the EU. I think Norway. I think France might do a bit for us as well. But that's what we've walked away from. We've said, you know what? Right. And that's why we're making ourselves look so stupid, like fools, like absolute idiots. Right? But that's what you get, yeah, when you let racism be your guide. You know, when I'm out, I just let the music be my guide. In this country, you let racism be your guide, and that's why, yeah, we're living in a country what's facing blackouts, right? And you can't afford your fucking shopping, you can't afford your fucking petrol or diesel, right? You know, it really is for me. It's beyond. You know, this is beyond funny. It's gone to the stage where it's hilarious, right? And I say it serves you people right. Right, for me, for a lifetime of racism from you people, right, this has got to be worth it for what I've seen you do to this country, right? Because you know something, yeah, this country has gone from being the 5th largest economy in the world to a, you know, where must be second world now. Seriously. Right, that's where we are. We're no longer first world. We're no longer up with your Germanys or your America. We're no longer up with none of those countries. Right? We're second world, mid-table, but second world because we crashed into the side of the fucking mountain. Right? And why? Because you people are a bunch of xenophobic, racist twats. And Jacob Rees-Mogg will start to use our Brexit freedoms by taking away your workers' rights. And that's what the whole thing was about in the first place. Because remember when Labour was last in power, yeah, you know, you could work somewhere for a year, and then after that they can't just sack you for no reason. As soon as the Tories come in, they moved it to 2 years, and then they took away legal aid. So it's not even like you could take your boss to a tribunal or anything like that. Before, you could have taken your boss to a tribunal and got legal aid for it. And they still want to take away more of your workers' rights. And you people voted for it. Why? Because they want to send people who look like me to Rwanda. And that pleases you. Well, so I'll tell you something, yeah. This pleases me to see what you've done to this country now. Right? Because I'm telling you, it really serves you people right. Right? And I say, it couldn't have happened to nicer people. But I have to bow out of here because I'm over 7 minutes over my time that was allotted. But I didn't do a video yesterday. So, right? But I've done it on Friday. So now, do you know what I mean? So now I'm back Monday morning. My friends, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.